Something I don't get with all these people who jump on different platforms is why they're not using like the same name on the different platform. Um, like they jump around. They'll be this on this and this and this and this and this, but they don't use the same thing. So they'll just be like using different names instead of using one, and that way you can kind of know what what they are. So maybe if you see something on uh, like TikTok or whatnot or Facebook or whatever, and then you also see it in like eBay or whatever, you can kind of put the two together and maybe figure out something from here to here. Um, uh, if you're selling something locally and you have that name on Facebook, but it's also on eBay, maybe they can figure that out and cut. Not I don't want to say cut the thing out, but like buy it locally. If you play around and don't want to do that, I understand. But as far as like marketing and advertising and all that, the more I can get that single name out, the more visibility I get, especially if it's free, the better. I mean, the better it is. So the better more people are going to realize it. I just bought a whole bunch of stuff on Whatnot today, and it won't be here for a couple days. But people on Whatnot kind of, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what this is and where it is, and maybe they'll peek at my eBay store and see the stuff I have based on the stuff that I just bought. Kind of deal. Could this backfire? It could. It could. Because they can be like, I know what you paid for that and all that, but whatever. But who knows? And I got no problem. We helping everybody out. Everybody wins. The guy who needs to sell it now just sold it now. I make a little bit. I make a little bit on that, and I pass the savings on to the customer, and the customer gets something for, let's just say, half of what retail would be. Instead of playing around with retail, they get half what they do, and they never have to leave the house, never to screw around with any questions, and bam, just like that, everybody wins. If the guy didn't need to sell it right now, he would do it. If I needed to sell something, I might do a Whatnot show. Like now, if I needed to sell it now, if I didn't have room for it, maybe I would buy like a storage building and like clear it out, and I would shoot like a Whatnot show right in the storage building of what's left. I would like sort it right in the hallway, take all the trash out, throw it in the pickup, because it is what it is. Do a Whatnot show of what's remaining right in the storage building that you just bought. Maybe you have like a week to clean it out, so you take your pickup or whatever, you fill that up with all the trash. You're going to have trash. And then whatever's left over, you do a quick sort and fill. And then you do like a Whatnot show. And then you sell everything in the storage building. Mind you, you're not getting eBay prices or whatever other platform you want to pick. But you're not getting those prices. You're getting Whatnot prices because you want the stuff sold. And you're going to go to the dump. You're going to lock it up after your Whatnot show. Lock it up. Go to your dump all your trash, come back, grab all the stuff, put it in the pickup. Now you have because once it sells or once it's gone, you might have 1 or 2 days to actually clean the thing out. I don't know. They're all different. Everyone's different, but you might have like a couple of days, maybe you have a week. Sometimes it's got to be cleaned out that night. Either way, you can do your little Whatnot show for, let's say, 2 hours. Sell everything in that storage building that you just paid $100 for maybe, let's say, $800. Okay, hit the dump all your trash. You're gonna have trash, and then come back and grab all the stuff and clear it out. And then you just made $700 in one day, and then you got to ship everything and all that. But Yeah. You know, but if you have your name that way, and you do want to sell some stuff on eBay, you know, if you have your name on Whatnot and your name on eBay, they can kind of figure out, you know, if this does, you know, just show them like, here's my Whatnot stuff. This is what I'm selling. I'm selling this stuff in the Whatnot shop, or I'm selling this stuff on eBay also. You know, you can tell them right in the Whatnot show. I don't know if that is allowed. Maybe you can kind of just show them the stuff and not say that you're selling it. You know, shoot around and be like, okay, we're going to sell this stuff today, and then like pan over and show the other stuff that, you know, we're not selling this. I think you get away with saying we're not selling this. And then, you know, you can kind of just say, they can put 2 and 2 together. If you have your Whatnot name is the same as your store name. But if it's different, if it's like, if, you know, your Big Bob 24 on Whatnot, something like that, and then your Bob's Basement in eBay, you know, there's no way. I mean, they're going to check every single Bob, you know. But if you're Bob's Basement on eBay and Bob's Basement and Whatnot, they're going to figure it out. I mean, there you go. And it doesn't take a genius. And then the thing is, not only are they going to look at like the Whatnot show that you're selling, they're going to also look at, or buying, or whatever the heck you want to do. They're also going to look at potentially your eBay store. They might search your eBay store. It doesn't take a genius. And then they go to Bob's Basement. Maybe it's Bob's Basement 24 or whatever, you know, because Bob's Basement is pretty popular. I'm just making it up. But, you know, maybe they come to Bob's Basement, room 24 or whatever, you know, or something like that. But then they can go right to that off eBay. And then if they see what you're buying on Whatnot or selling on Whatnot, maybe they realize, okay, they probably have stuff in their store or Whatnot, whatever store, their eBay store, their other store, you know, whatever. But they probably can search that out and find other stuff. And now you don't have to, I mean, you're still going to want to promote and all that, but now you're getting off-site sales brought to that store using Whatnot instead of just having eBay do all the work. eBay's not doing all the work. You know, you got Google, you got eBay. It all come through there. If your pictures look good and Google says, I want to show them that, they'll show them that. But if you can get Whatnot there and have people coming to your page off another site just based on what you might have, that might sell something that you wouldn't otherwise sell. You know, maybe they put an offer on something that you wouldn't otherwise sell. You know, it might work. Can't hurt. I mean, absolute worst case, you do something stupid. You know, simple as that. You do something stupid on one of these pages, and you got to act professional. But if you don't, and you do something stupid, it might burn you here, and here, because you got all this stuff linked now. But whatever, make it work, make it happen. That's my theory. I think it's a good way to advertise. It's a good way to throw that out, let everybody know everything. And, you know, as long as you're treating them how you'd like to be respected, or respecting them how you'd like to be respected, I don't see an issue with doing it. Now, if you do plan on burning bridges, or if you want to hide behind something, or if you want to, maybe don't want to do that, you just want to like change your thing or have a dozen accounts or whatever, okay. You know, okay, but you're kind of losing out on this whole advertising thing by not doing that. If you can grab your thing and throw it across different platforms, that's free. It's free advertising. It's free marketing. It's free advertising, you know, because people are going to figure out who you are. I'm Serial on here. I'm Serial on Whatnot. I'm Serial on eBay. I'm, you know, and I really don't, you know, I'm Serial on Facebook, but I kind of try not to do too much on Facebook. I usually pretty much do it under my own name, but and I actually don't do a lot on Facebook. I just don't. You guys know I told you I'm like super antisocial and all that, but and I'm opening up, but I'm still like, I'm not going to like huge events and all that. You know, it's fun and all, but it's just not for me. But anyway, getting off that. But if you want to have a Facebook store and you want to sell a whole bunch of stuff locally, there you go. You could also do that on Facebook and sell the stuff locally that it's not eBay items. It might weigh like, you might have like a dress, not a dresser, a dining room set that you bought at an auction for $10. Happens all the time, all the time. You can find like a dining room set or an oak bed frame, not the mattress. You throw out the mattress, but like an oak bed frame, from like the 1960s or whatever, heavy oak. It probably weighs like 600 pounds kind of deal, because it's all thick wood and built up hard and has been actually handcrafted and all that. That's not an eBay item. Somebody might sell it on eBay. Good for you. But 98%, that's a local item. You sell that on Facebook. Maybe you buy it for $5. No joke. I've seen them go for that. And you sell it on Facebook for, let's just say, $300 instead, and it's worth probably a couple grand. So you sell it for $300 and it's gone, hopefully. Or here's the reason I don't do it. Or it sits in the corner of your thing, taking up a huge amount of space, even broken down, and you end up having it for 3 years, kind of deal, even at $300. So that's why I don't do it. But if you wanted to do that, having your eBay name and your Facebook name and all that linked together and all that right along the road, you could do that too. And be like, here, I sell all these furniture accessories. Like, you can sell all the 1970s hardware, all that good hardware, all the American-made hardware and all that. You can sell that hardware. But that's not a bad market. And if you have something small, that's also not a bad market. Please don't be just taking stuff off stuff. But if it's going into the trash, or if it's going into the burn pile, and you take a photo of the hardware, the little knobs and such, you can make money on that. But maybe you sell all the hardware or the junk stuff, the stuff that's like just junk, but it has good hardware. And then on the side or locally, you sell the big stuff that's actually made of oak and or not oak, whatever. Pick your wood. Made of actual wood, not put together and glued together kind of stuff. But actually made of real wood, and maybe like stuff like that. Like I have a couple chandeliers up. Those are eBay items. I'll sell a chandelier. I'll put it in a big old box. I don't have a problem with that. But things much bigger than that, that's really about my limit. Because, like beds, I'm not doing a bed on eBay. I'm not doing like chairs. I'm not doing wooden chairs on eBay. That's another one. Wooden chairs are like, you can buy 4 wooden chairs for, no joke, $5 at an auction. If you need to fill up a house, go to an auction, buy somebody else's house, buy their own estate, buy their like oak kitchen set, buy all that. Seriously, because at that point they want it gone. It's the same thing as the storage thing. They want it gone, and they're going to do it. Heck, maybe you can actually do a whatnot where you sell that locally. I don't know how that works. I haven't played around with it yet. But, I'm learning. That's why I was buying stuff today, was I was learning how everything works. And then, looking at setups. This guy had a great setup where he had like he had like a wall full of bins. Man, I'm so on that, because that's such a great idea, where you can actually just have like, I don't know, let's say 100 bins numbered, and you just put the stuff in the bin as you go. And there you go. And then you can actually go back and pull it from this bin and this bin and this bin. I should drink some water before this, sorry. But yeah, there you go. But like I'm saying, if you can link a name across different platforms, no matter what that is, okay? And then you can actually have all that stuff. Now, you take the good with the bad, because nobody's perfect. I'm messed up. I know I am. So you take the good with the bad, but you also can take the good. Instead of having 30 different names and nobody knows what you are outside of, let's say, eBay. They only know you as eBay. You're going to have to push harder than if they know you across so many different platforms. Like I'm saying, I'm Serial here. I'm Serial on eBay. There's not too many of us. There's not too many Serials on eBay, I guarantee it. Okay? But it's one of those things where, if you have the two there, they can go off here and maybe find my store on eBay and buy something through there. And if they've seen me and know that I make or have heard that I make offers, and they either accept any offer as long as it's respectful. Um, you know, like I'm not going to take, if it's like a $30 item, I'm not going to take, I have to do this again. I got my alarms going off. I'm not going to take $10. But if you offer me 20, probably, you know, one of those deals, because I want them out the door. So, I mean, and as long as it makes up for my, deal, I'm going to do it. But yeah, came a little late on this one. Sorry about that. But there you go. Throw your stuff across different platforms. Get one name. I don't want to say make a brand, but make a name. If you can make a name, you're good. Everybody knows you under that name. And that's what's going to matter here when we go to other things. And you're going to be known by something. You're going to be known by something. It can either be your real name or it can be the name that you make for yourself. I ain't got no problem with my real name, but I don't want everybody knowing 100% about me. I guarantee you, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You can find out everything about me off my eBay store. I don't really care. I don't have anything to hide. But that's part of it too. If you got some stuff you don't want out there, maybe you want to play around and maybe not have everything linked and make it just throw up a couple walls. Nobody's perfect, but if you want to run a business and you want to have a business, you're gonna have to and have all your businesses linked. There you go. We all know this. Like, some corporations own different brands, but they're all under one company. GM owns probably, let's go with 10. Let's just say 10, okay? I don't even know how many it is anymore. Let's just say 10. That's a good number. I think it's a whole bunch more than that. GM, owns a whole bunch more than 10, okay? But they're all under GM brand, I think. Whatever the hell it's called. But they're all under GM now. So GM has a thing, but then you have branches off that. Now you can do that. You can have one name and then branch off that name. I've done that a little bit, but you still want to have them kind of realize what it is so that they can find you. So, and another big part of that is you got to be respectful. If you're not respectful, that stuff will come out and hit you so hard. I know how I want to be treated. I treat the customers how I want to be treated. I'm not going to screw over anybody, even if it hurts me. Okay? I don't want to be taken advantage of. But, if something shows up damaged, it shows up damaged. I ain't going to ask you 100 questions. I ain't going to come up with some. I'm going to make it right kind of deal. We're going to make it right. And I'll play around with it later. But as far as the customer goes, they got so many options. Why are they picking you? They're picking you because, first, you're probably the cheapest. Or maybe your photos look better, or there's a whole bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, if they see that you just treat your customers like crap, they might not go with you. They might take a chance. They might, if you're trashy and you do all this stuff, maybe they won't take a chance with you. But if they can see that you're respectful across different platforms, why wouldn't they? And if they see that you sell this and this and this and this, why wouldn't they? You can see you see my last videos. You can kind of see what I got coming up. That's part of it. Get the stuff listed, get the stuff up, get it up as fast as you can. I really need to work on that a whole bunch more. This wasn't supposed to be a sourcing day. This is just me exploring whatnot and then just getting some stupid deals and whatever. I'm going to stay away from that because I can tell you it's addicting. But, it is what it is. So I got some stuff for the store. So like I'm saying, I was telling you how you don't get stuff that is out of season and all this stuff. And now I got to play around with that plan because I got all that stuff coming. So those are they're not hot illegal items, but they're hot items where I need to sell them I need to get them up within 2 weeks because The store's locked up right now, and then I'm going to get them up when the store's locked up so that maybe I can sell them before the store opens up and everything becomes available again. It's tricky. But, yeah, I mean, there you go. But it's one of those things where, and by locked up, I mean they're not selling anything to the public right now. Everything that's out there is out there. So if I can get this stuff, I'm guessing here Wednesday, and put it up by Friday, I'm going to hit Wednesday hard and put it up by Friday. I can maybe catch that before they open up in 2 weeks and maybe catch a couple sales. That's what I'm kind of hoping. Because that would be great. 2 weeks to turnaround and make a nice little profit like I'm saying. You buy it for this, you make probably half retail and kick it out the door. Everybody's happy across the board. And, but I still got to catch that little window because if I come out that window, they can just buy it from the store for twice the price. Are they going to? Maybe. Or, are they going to? Maybe. But if they don't, or if they see my stuff through here, through whatnot, through the eBay store, maybe through some Google stuff, if they see all that, maybe I'll make that sale before, that store opens up. And I can sell the stuff for half price because I bought it for cheap. If you buy it for cheap, if you can buy the stuff for cheap and people know that you bought it for cheap, they know you're going to be selling it cheap because you want to sell it. Because I don't want to, I don't mind sitting on stuff. I got room to sit on stuff, but I don't want to sit on stuff. If I can turn 5 into 50, let's just go with that. If I can turn 5 into 50, I'm going to do that every day of the week, and I can do that within 2 weeks. I'm going to do that every day of the week. 5 into 50 within 2 weeks, deal. I'll do that every day of the week. But if I got to do 5 into 50 and it takes me 2 years, I'll probably still do it. Still good numbers. But I'd rather have it gone in 2 weeks. So just have more capital on hand. But there you go. Business capital and all that. So playing around. Like I'm saying, if you can get your name across different platforms, do it. Because it's free advertising, free marketing, free all that stuff. And I'll take free whatever time I can. I'm cheap. I'll take free any day of the week. So there you go. Anyway, that's what this is about. I talked to this, ran it over this 4 or 5 different times more than I needed to. You guys have fun?